we talk about structured, we're talking about a way to engage students in a two-way conversation, not being one student doing all the talking, but two students having that back and forth conversation that we structure for them.
Also, teachers. Okay, I know that we have a big EV population on campus, but so this is something that we as ELDs would like to see in your classrooms. If it's if you do have a high population in the classroom, right? So things like the word understand, that's like the verb. So to fully comprehend. So you're chunking and you're breaking it down for them so they can understand better what they're going to understand and master in your lesson. So those are things that you can do within your lesson that okay, that shows us that you're internalizing, that you're providing those scaffolds, that you are understanding the population that you're serving.
All right, so let's start with our do now. You have your paper response cards look like this. Go to that first box. And the prompt is, why is structured conversation important for a classroom? I'm going to start the timer. Why is structured conversation important in the classroom? For those that need it, here's your sentence frame. Structured conversation is important because, remember to start your sentence, complete sentences using your sentence frames to support you. Leaders, if you can identify some exemplar responses. About 30 more seconds. Okay, if you have a stamp on your paper, please stand up, please. If you have a stamp, please stand. All right, we'll start in the back. Ms. Jolivet, can you share?
Not only that, it helps other students to hear different responses and different ideas. And additionally, teachers get the opportunity to make corrections. You can hear students learn what people learn in different ways.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Tanat.
Structured conversation is important because it gives students the tools to have academic discussions. They may have the answer but are missing those filler words, and it will help build their confidence.
Good, thank you for sharing. All right, Mr. Parchment.
All right, so I put structured conversation is important in any class because discussion is a critical aspect of learning. It allows learners to teach each other, to shore up misunderstandings, and define new perspectives. And the structural aspect is critical to make sure that the conversations are both on task and on the right track.
Good. I like how we're using these sentence too. Very good, teachers. Let's do one more.
Structured convo is important in the their peers, and it also allows them to actively engage in the lesson.
Ms. Wilson, we'll get you on the next one. All right, thank you for sharing, teacher. So we're going to watch a video of QAAA in action in a classroom. And as you're watching, think about some key takeaways. What are some key takeaways from this strategy that you found while watching this video?
But the relationship is proportional.
So QSSSA is a way of providing a structured conversation for your students, and where you question, signal, stem, share, and then assess. The question is just based on what you're teaching that day. What makes this relationship proportional?
Whenever you think that you know the answer to this question, I want you to put your hand on your head.
I think the signal helps a lot just because that just gives them that extra time to really be thoughtful and not just wait for somebody else to raise their hand and give them the answer.
This relationship is proportional because, and then you're going to fill it in.
You provide a stem so that they can respond in a complete sentence and use the academic vocabulary.
This relationship is proportional because it's equal to an argument. This relationship is proportional because it has a constant of 28.
QSSSA helps with interactions just by providing structure. Those interactions help. If they don't know the answer, their partner may, and so their partner can help them foster some new content and language.
The table is proportional because it's in y equals x1. And if it's labels, we can also use the labels.
Yes. Okay. And then after the sharing process, you just need to assess.
Kristen, can you fill in this sentence in for me, please?
This relationship is proportional because it goes through the origin and it goes through 0, 0.
I think for English learners, this is really valuable because each step really gets them ready to speak. To help my ELs, I make sure I pair them with someone who can help them gain their language. So I'm not going to put a beginner with a beginner. I just want to make sure that I know what to do, and then they're really practicing those sentence stems. For my English learners, I have lots of anchor charts, and I always try to refer to one specific so they're not searching. My students really like QSSSA. They are able to learn from one another, and they build a lot of confidence whenever they're using it because they're using that academic vocabulary. Just having conversation with others, they like that, but they're also learning from these conversations.
All right, team. So, what's the best way to learn? But by doing and practicing, right? So, like Ms. Miles said, we are going to practice doing a QSSSA. So, we just finished watching the video, and the question that I'm going to ask everybody is, what are some key takeaways from QSSSA you found after watching this video? The signal I want you to use is, I want you to put your hand on your head when you finish answering the question. That will let me know that you have completed it. So the sentence stem that we are going to use is a key takeaway from the video was. So I want us to all read that together, okay? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to give you 30 seconds. So you guys, I'm going to give you 30 seconds so you can finish writing your sentence stem, and then we're going to start the timer, okay? So I'm going to start the timer right now. You guys have 30 seconds to write your sentence stem. And then we're going to start writing. Make sure you are writing your sentence stem. That's what I'm going to be walking around looking for. Write your sentence stem. All right, class. So now what we're going to do is now we're going to answer the question. And when you finish answering, remember, put your hand on your head. Okay? So we're gonna start the timer. I'm gonna give you guys 2 minutes. I'm gonna be walking around. I'm gonna be reading your answers, looking for an exemplar response. Make sure that you are writing at this time.
100% engagement. Everyone participates 100%. Let me know that you are finished. Now, if your whole class is finished but the timer is still going, what should we be doing?
Move it on.
Moving on. Yeah. That's maximizing your instruction.
Okay. So now, class, what I want you to do is I want you to identify your partner. We did that already. Identify your shoulder partner, and the person with the longest hair is going to share out first, okay? So I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds to share, and then we're going to switch to the next partner. Let's go. Let's share.
Partner B should be sharing. Partner B should be sharing. If you have not done so already, partner B.
So, class, I'm a team. So remember, you can do 30 seconds, 15 seconds. It depends on your class, right? Some classes are a little bit more advanced than the others. Some classes have more EBs than the others. So it depends on how you want to scaffold your lesson. So I gave some exemplar responses. I saw some. So if you have a stamp, please stand up. If you have a stamp, just stand up really quick. Thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you, Miss E. Miss E, let's go. Let's share.
I said a key takeaway from the video was using QSSSA give opportunities for students to engage in the lesson.
Yes, everyone's engaged, 100% engagement. Miss Powell, can you share?
I said a key takeaway from the video was that it is important to pair students with a peer that can help them with lesson, conversation, and answering questions.
I love that. Give her some snaps. So that's a great thing that I saw too, right? So pairing up a high level EB with a lower level EB, that way they can help each other out during the lesson. There's no point of putting two beginner levels together because they're going to be lost throughout the whole lesson, right? Mr. Buckley.
Key takeaway from the video was the student's engagement in the strategy and the space the teacher creates to facilitate student discourse.
Yes, correct. I love that. It's student-centered, not teacher-centered. And Ms. Pinnock.
I said the same thing, that you should not pair a beginner with another beginner, and that the signal allows students to.
Yes, you want that for your EBs. Thank you, Ms. Pinnock. Let's give her some snaps. Some think time. That's what the kids need. They need that think time so they can, think about how they're going to process all the questions, how they're going to answer it, and then yeah, that's what they need at the end of the day. Because sometimes we ask a question and then we immediately call on them, and just they're frantic and they don't know how to answer. So give them that think time. That signal allows them that little bit of time.
I want to elaborate just a little bit on that last video. Something else that I liked that stood out to me were the scaffolds. As they're doing the QSSSA, she referred to her anchor charts. Because you're going to have kids during the writing, they may be lost and don't know what to do. So have those scaffolds in place and refer back to those anchor charts because they're not there for decoration. We're there to support our EB students and all of our students. Something else too, the intentional seating. First day of school, you tell students where to sit. Who are they going to sit next to? Their buddies, right? So in a way, you kind of have to have a seating chart because, like Mr. Krause said, if you have two beginners that don't speak the language sit next to each other, can they do a QSSSA? Not really, no. So just be intentional about where you're sitting your EB students. Oh, okay. So the first part, the first step in QSSSA is your question. Say question. Here, the teacher's going to pose a question to the class directly linked to the learning objective. And this needs to be a hot question. What does that hot stand for? Hot. And what emoji do we use for those hot questions? Fire slides, exactly. An example would be explain each step of the QSSSA process. So those lower level, like those naming, labeling questions, you want something they can elaborate on, those hot questions.